Tumela Vakayesu, Kunjani, to my brothers and sisters in Botswana, South Africa, Makadini, to my brothers in Zimbabwe and sisters, to my brothers and sisters in Zambia, Mwashubuke Ngai Mwaikashani Budobu Shikuwalelo, Ifwe, Goena, Tule Kosanga, Ngafuni Umutende, Le Sale Pala, to my brothers and sisters in Kenya, the rest of Africa, and indeed the diaspora, welcome. Today I have a privilege of having a guest, and this is a young lady who is a professional estate agent. But before we get into this conversation, I would say please remember to click the like button, subscribe, and smack that bell so that every time I upload videos such as this, you will be the first ones to be notified. So before I crack on, I would say I will let my guest introduce herself, and I hope you enjoy this conversation.
Yeah, so my name is Margaret Maida Mbulo.
Yes.
I'm a real estate professional. I'm a property consultant by profession.
That's right.
Yeah, so I'm currently running my own firm, which is Marnet Property Consultancy. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's yeah.
All right. So how long have you been in business, if I may ask, and how is business?
Okay. I got registered as an estate agent in 2012.
Okay.
I got registered with Zambia Institute of Estate Agents then when I just got my first job after CV.
Okay.
Yeah, so I worked for different private and public companies. I worked for Copper Hill as a property manager. I managed Copper Hill more here in Kitwe. Okay. Then I also worked for GVD as an intern for about a year and a half. Okay. Then after that, I worked for Upmarket Property Consultants for about since 2015 up to 2019. So I left Upmarket December 2019 and started my own in January 2020.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously.
So how many years is that?
Oh no, that's great. That's a lot. So I mean, obviously, that's moving from working for a business and now running your own business. How is it going for you? How is the business environment in Zambia as well? Supporting young person like you stepping in and doing a great job there. How is it like?
Well, it's great. I can't complain. Of course, like any business, the beginning is a bit rough. Yeah. But I think I have the support, especially of clients that I've built throughout these years. They always support me. They come or they will bring people that they know. I have clients within Kitwe, outside Zambia. Wow. Clients in the diaspora as well. Yeah. So fantastic. I think all in all, I think it's okay.
It's okay. Great. As the program says, how building in Zambia while living in the diaspora. The question is, and I think others will be wondering and saying, why are we talking to a professional estate manager or land economics? Because they'll be thinking, well, if I need to build, I would just go and talk to an architect and I bought a piece of land and all that. What's the importance of basically engaging you guys at an early stage before we actually start building?
Yeah, well, obviously, you are building either to occupy or to lease out something. And if it's people in the diaspora, obviously, most of them, I doubt it's because they want to come back and live in the property. They are building to invest. Yeah. So you need to put up something that is going to come and bring you money after it's done. Mm-hmm. So contrary to what other people think, to say you only need an agent or a real estate professional after you are done building, now you're looking for a tenant, it's not supposed to be like that. Okay. Because we've been, like I've said, I've been in this business, so I know what sells and what does not sell. Yeah. So right from the inception, when you consult an agent, they'll tell you if what you are thinking of putting up will sell or won't sell. Mm-hmm. So that's what is important. The importance is to show to to give you advice on whether what you're going to build is going to be a good investment or not.
Okay, so
I think that's why it's important.
Yeah, so you will come in when I think of, I approach the architect, or at this time when I'm actually talking to the architect, I actually need to speak to you as well.
Before you even speak to an architect, at the point that you have the land.
Okay.
Yeah, because when you go to the architect, you already have the concept.
You have
before you even have the concept, you need to speak to a property professional. Because after they advise you, they tell you what sells and what not. Then you come up with something and then you take to the architect.
That's right. That's a very interesting.
And even in between the architect, you also need the agent again, because even if I say a house, like houses, 3-bedroom houses will sell, it doesn't end there. How should it be designed? Because clients or tenants have specific things that they want. So even as you are talking to the architect, you should at the same time be talking to the property professional to advise you like what it should have. So yeah, I think in the up to I think where you tell the whole concept to the architect, you need that profession. You need that profession.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful, and it's really interesting because I mean I've been dealing with quite a lot of the estate agents, and I'm not so sure because I've probably never asked them whether they are qualified. But it's quite interesting to see that we have qualified professionals in Zambia. It's sometimes people think Zambians are just running up and down, but but we have professionals such as yourself, qualified from reputable universities in Zambia that are able to help us deliver whatever project we want to do. I mean, obviously, at that point, then, if I now know that I need to engage a professional estate agent, what sort of credentials should I be looking at before I consider or before I appoint that particular company? Is there any qualifications, any affiliations that estate agents in Zambia have to belong to that I need to check? Yeah, if you can just run us through that.
Okay, so in fact, there's only one thing that you need to take into consideration when selecting the agent or who to use, and that is they must be registered with Zambia Institute of Estate Agents.
All right.
Which is here. Yes. We have an institution that governs like everything that we are doing, that moderates even how we are running business, to which we pay subscription even. So it's a well-established institution actually.
Okay.
So in the past, like you have said, people would just do, whoever wants would just wake up and say, I'm an agent, and start looking for, but this time around now, people are sensitized. And even those same people that you would find on the street, they are also registered. Like, they're to get registered. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So that's the first thing that you need to look at. For you to know whether it's true or not, we do have a certificate which we are given when we pay up every year. So that is the credential that you need. Okay. Like someone should show you that they are registered with this institute.
Okay.
Yeah, and should anything go wrong, you are at liberty to report this person with the institute.
All right. So, I mean, that's a great issue to talk about. If should anything go wrong, based on the advice that is coming from I'm saying that's a very interesting topic to kind of touch up a little bit. If should anything go wrong. So, other than being registered, is there anything like professional indemnity that you guys have to carry? I don't know, or is it mandatory, or is it's just something that one has to think of and say, well, since I'm doing this, I need to ensure the services that I'm providing. Do you have some professional indemnity to cover your service, the services that you provide?
Yes, for firms, it's a must that you must have that indemnity. Okay. For individuals, it's not one of the requirements, but what I know is that for for a company for a firm like mine, I'm supposed for me to get registered with ZIA.
Yes.
Because there's individual registration and there's company registration.
Okay.
So if I'm running a firm, I should be able to have those.
Yes.
My agents and myself should have that certificate. My company should also have. Now, for my company to acquire that certificate from ZIA, we're supposed to have indemnity.
Brilliant.
The thinking is that if you're going to run a firm, it means that you are going to be having huge sums of money deals.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think maybe that's why it's specifically for companies.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure with the transitioning of ZIA, because it's undergoing transition right now, it will also be considered that individuals also have some form of indemnity in order for them to run.
Is there a website for your organization, for your institution, that one can look at, and can one easily obtain a list of registered estates, qualified and registered estates with the institute, with your institute?
There is a Facebook page that I know. For website, I'm not really sure about the website, because there was a time they were talking about coming up with a website, because that's where now it's becoming like a big thing, you know. Yeah. So, but every year they do produce a list of registered agents in the paper.
Okay.
Even on Facebook, like every single year after the deadline for payment for subscription.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, but with time, I'm sure we'll be able to have those publicized even in other media apart from the paper and Facebook.
Okay, that's great. I mean, that's quite an eye-opening, just to see what happens with the estate agents. But I think if we just move on a little bit, I think we've touched a little bit about the benefits. Could you just elaborate a little bit further on the benefits that your services will bring to me before I start doing the construction?
Okay. The one of them, like I said, you will know whether what you are planning to do will work out, or it won't.
It won't.
One. Two, it will give you a general knowledge of the market.
Yes.
Wherever you want to build.
That's
because
good.
when someone comes, and we don't just dream and say, no, this won't work or this will work. We will give you examples.
Yes.
And like evidence.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of some evidence. I think that's like can say, no, this is like, this will work because it worked here and there. We don't just speak from without. That's a thing.
Yes.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So I think that's the main benefit before you build.
Yeah, because I think when you are investing, you want to make sure that you get your the proper return on your investment.
Yes,
and I think it is really important. And I think I always say this: if you are in the diaspora, you would want to start building. You don't want to build when you are old and then start rushing and all that. So and I think one important thing is obviously keep money as it's a tool. So you put the money in there, let it generate some money, some income, or let it generate a return. If you put your money in the bank, you will get, like in the UK here, I think 0.whatever% as a return on your as interest. But if you invest there, you want to try and look at what sort of return on investment you will get. Do you have examples of, an idea of what sort of, if I was to build a 2-bedroom flat and costing maybe about, let's say 400,000 Zambian kwacha, what sort of return I'll be expecting in a year return on investment? I think maybe just loading up that question as well, it would be nice to have that example of I think I saw your video where you gave an example of somebody building a 3-bedroom flat in Ndeke and another one in a good residential area. If you can just cap up, just talk about that, and then we can dive into what sort of return or rentals we'll be able to get from different locations if you were to build in an example format.
Okay, so if it's you said 400,000 kwacha.
Yeah.
So if you build a 2-bedroom, for example, in Ndeke, 400,000, maybe you can even do something like 2 semi-detached, I think.
Yes.
Yes. So if you build that in Ndeke, a 2-bedroom will range from 2.5 to somewhere 3.5.
Okay.
Yeah. So between 2.5 and 3.5.
Yes.
For a 2-bedroom in Ndeke. Yeah. That's about how much in a year?
That's so if let's take 2.5 times 12 times
30.
Yeah, about 60. If you're talking of 2-bedroom, 2 semi-detached. Yeah. So you're getting about 60,000. It's a semi-detached.
Because they're semi-detached, yes. Yeah, so you're getting about 60,000. So your investment was 400, right?
Yes.
So divide by. Okay, so in this 60,000, you need to consider your maintenance costs, all those things, because you want the 60,000 won't come to you.
Yes.
Like as a whole. Yes. So you need to remove, those costs. Let's estimate them at maybe 15%, for instance. So yeah, so minus 15% of 60,000.
Yes.
Kwacha.
51.
Yeah, for starters, apartments or flats. Yeah, on flats like in Ndeke, they are low maintenance. What I mean by low maintenance is that when someone is looking to rent something in Ndeke, they are not expecting so much. They are like what tenants looking for. Such things in parklands are looking for. Things like security guard, air conditioners. Those are just things that you decide to put in yourself.
Yes.
But in parklands, someone will want you to put that. Of course, because of the rent that you're going to ask for. So that's why I put it at 15% this side, because the maintenance there is a bit, it's lower than those you build in these good areas. So you said it's what? 9,000?
Yeah, 9,000, yes.
Okay, so we say so minus 9,000. So like 51 in a year. So 400,000 divide 51.
It's about 12%.
Yeah, so that's like I'm trying to calculate like in how many years first your money will come back. Yeah, so it says 7.8. So to be safe, let's just say like 10.
Okay.
Within 10 years, this money will come back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the rate of return is a bit difficult for you to calculate the rate of return right now, because unless you give me like after how many years, like maybe after 20 years, what percentage will I get from this, for example? I don't know if you get yeah. So mostly in judging the goodness of an investment, we use the return period.
Yes.
Yeah, we use the return period to calculate or to gauge or to judge whether your investment is good or not. So anything that is retained within 10 to 15 years should be a good investment.
Should be a good investment. So
yes, within
roughly
10 to 15 years.
Yeah, roughly we're looking at about 7 years, is it? We said.
Yeah, for the one you told me, about 7 years, which is very good.
Which is very good.
Especially if you manage your costs really well, it's really good.
That's good. That's good. But I think you've given an example of Ndeke. So what are we looking at in parklands? Yeah.
Okay, so the parklands one, the same type of property, for example, will yield from minimum 4,000 to maybe 6,500, 7,000, a 2-bedroom, like of similar, 4,000 to 7,000, somewhere there. And it's coming with those things I was talking about, aircon, maybe gardener, 24/7, security, security, which during the day the gardener, at night some sort of security, different kinds of security measures are used, but you need to provide that. For someone to come and pay that amount of money for rent, those are some of the things that they want to find. So that 8,000 with that in it. I mean 4,000 to 7,500 or 7,000 with that in it.
Okay.
So we follow the same procedure, like 8,000 by 12. Yeah, just like how I did it. You'll find that it will almost be similar, because in Parklands the costs will be a bit high because of the extra services you are providing to your tenants. Though it will be a little bit more, but yeah, it will be a little bit more.
In terms of return, will basically be more or less the same. You basically, the costs to maintain will be more, and the stuff that you've put in will be more. But so it's kind of
occupancy rate as well. So in the cost, there's also the occupancy issue.
Okay.
So with Ndeke, occupancy rates are usually from 90 to 100%. You hardly find anything available there. Yes. With Parklands, when we have situations like now, when we don't have contractors in the mines, those people who pay those 8,000, when you don't have those, the property will suffer some vacancies. So that is also another cost to take into consideration.
So would you say that if you were to advise somebody in the diaspora and is looking at investing into property, would advise that person to go into more or less upcoming areas? Because I think Kitwe has quite a number of areas that are being opened up, like Uchane, across the bridge, across the river. We've got the new Kitwe, and I think there's a number of areas that are being opened up, rather than going to these already established areas, like I'm sure Parklands, maybe there are not even plots there, and rivers.
They're very few. They are there, but they're very expensive.
Very expensive. Yeah. So you would advise somebody to go into these up and upcoming areas, is it?
I would, but I would tell them to say they should have patience.
Okay.
They should have patience to wait for when that area becomes marketable.
Yes.
I'll give an example of Quito West. You know Quito West, right? Yes. When Quito West was just starting, it looked like nobody would even go there. Yes. So some people started building there, and they had to wait some years before they started taking people there. Yes. But now it's opened up, and people are occupying apartments there within the same price like Ndeke. So I would advise that, but I would also ask them to have patience so that they don't get disappointed. They don't expect their investment to start coming, bringing returns within a year or two. You have to give it at least 4 years, 5 years. You have to be patient.
You have to be patient. I think what I would probably say is, obviously you're running your own business, and I think if you could send me the details, your contact details, I'll be able to share with the people in the diaspora. So if you can give me how they can get in touch with you and what services, well, I'm sure services that you've obviously talked about. And now, once I have a property, what sort of services do you offer? I've got the property, I've built it, as we've discussed, and then I need an estate agent. I need somebody. Do you just provide a tenant, or you go beyond that? What sort of service do you do?
We go beyond that, and that's even an advantage of using a professional agent.
Yeah.
We don't just bring you the tenant. We'll make sure we have the lease agreement, everything prepared and signed by both parties. We also make sure an inventory is signed of what they have found in your property, to ensure that there are no security deposit disputes after they are moving out, because I've seen a lot of that nowadays.
Yes.
Yeah, where someone just went in, they did not take note of what was working and what was not working, and then when moving out, there are those problems. No, I found this like this, I found this like that. No, so the agent will make sure all that is tabulated when the tenant is taking possession of the property. Yeah. And if you want, when they are leaving, you can still engage the same agent to come and make sure those tenants hand over and leave it to the next tenant. So we go beyond that. We do the documentation and everything.
Right. So in the intro, you at the beginning of the conversation, you mentioned that you are based in Kitwe. Are you able to go to the whole 9-10 provinces of Zambia, or do you have other people that you work with? Could you just share a little bit about that?
Okay. Like I mentioned on the list of registered agents, we usually collaborate with other agents, even in other towns. Yes. So if I have something here in Kitwe, I'll collaborate with someone. Maybe someone, let's say someone has been contacted who's in Lusaka, and they've been contacted over something that is in Kitwe. There are people who use me, agents, my fellow professional agents, who use me to execute the jobs that they have here in Kitwe. In the same way, if I receive a job that, for example, that is for Lusaka or Mongu, Mazapuka, anywhere, there are people that we work with. Okay. So I may be stationed here in Kitwe, but I can facilitate, or what can I say, anything around Zambia.
Anything around Zambia. So if I have a piece of land in Lusaka, I can come to you and you can basically handle everything. I don't need to speak to anybody because I know you and I've dealt with you. Just the same with my brothers and sisters in the diaspora. They can see you and they know you. So, and they have a project in Lusaka. You are able to handle that for them, and
yes,
you be the point of contact. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, fantastic.
That is very positive. It actually happens a lot. I think estate agency is the only profession where there's no competition, I must say.
Is that so?
There's really no competition, no, because there are times that I may have the buyer, someone has the seller. Okay. So we usually collaborate. Yes. So whenever someone comes, they're looking for something for me, I will go to them.
Okay.
Same way, they're looking for something, they'll come to us. That's how it is.
So, I mean, I think the other thing that we probably are talking about your institution or your profession, what sort of fees would one expect to pay if I was to engage you guys? Let's say at pre-construction stage and post-construction, managing the tenants. What sort of fees are we looking at with you guys?
Okay, there are no laid down fees, especially when it comes to consultancy, because people don't really consult. So there hasn't really been a laid down, schedule of fees like that, unless with sales and leases. For leasing, it's a month's rent. Okay. We usually charge 1 month's rent upon introducing the tenant. For sales, it usually starts at 5%, especially for properties that are above 200 and 250,000 kwacha. Those that are below, some people may charge you 10%, but all the time, people usually just, we negotiate.
Okay. No, that's great. And everything. So if you are, as you are here, and you, what sort of advice would you give for somebody who is in the diaspora? Advice and possibly maybe a word of caution as well from your professional point of view.
Okay, so my advice is, I know that most people in the diaspora would rather use like family members, because they trust them. But my advice is use your family members as people to watch over, but engage professionals to be the ones who advise what to do, when to do, and how to do it. Yeah, and my caution is be careful with agents who are not registered, because if something goes wrong, there is no way you're going to run to report that person. For us who are registered, we are afraid for our registration or our careers. So we make sure we handle things diligently. Yeah, so I would also ask that people in the diaspora familiarize themselves with Zambia Institute of Estate Agents to follow what they're all about, and also follow those lists so that you choose agents from those lists, because there are agents in every location.
Fantastic. Margie, really appreciate your insight, professional advice, and like I said, thank you very much, Margie, and it's really been a pleasure talking to you, and you finding time actually to speak to some of us who are trying to get onto social media at our age. But with gray hair, and you say, what what are you doing? What are you doing? This is for young people. Hey.
No, you're doing a great thing. Actually, you're doing a great thing, and I hope people get to see this. We want Zambians to be the ones to invest in property. We want Zambians to come on board, take up these big, large portfolio of properties and invest in them.
Yes.
Yeah, I think mostly if you, when we are selling, especially something that is above 2 million or what, majority of people that will approach us are those people that are non-Zambian. And I don't think that's very good for us as a country. So I would like to urge and encourage you, our colleagues in the diaspora, to take up these, because I think most of them are capable, actually. They are capable of acquiring some of these portfolios or properties that we put on sale. Yeah. And I think sometimes they are discouraged when someone advertises, they see a price, because it's expensive, they shun.
Yeah.
This very important, actually.
Yes.
When you see someone advertise and put a price, that is not the final say.
Yes.
We have seen properties that we have advertised and have gone for even half of that. So don't fear because you have seen what the price is. Mm-hmm. Push so that you can acquire it. That's how they do it, these foreigners. They come, they negotiate.
Yeah. I think so. Yeah. Go on.
I encourage you to please come and invest home.
Yeah. I think in your line of work, if you see anything that is being sold, please get in touch with us. We've created a group. A Facebook group, How to Build in Zambia, and I think it's mostly people from the diaspora. So if you have something that you think somebody from the diaspora could benefit, if you've come across something that you think, you know what, I need the guys in the diaspora to look at this or invest in this, and you've got all the numbers, the retains, and all that, please get in touch and. You're free to basically put it on that and let's see what happens. Thank you very much for finding time to talk to us. And like I said, if you could send me your details, and I hope that people watching this will be motivated and will be able to get in touch with you. And as you said, you're already working with people in the diaspora, so you could give them that professional advice, and so they don't make mistakes. Yeah. Thank you very much for coming through. Really.
Thank you so much for having me, Kelvin.
All right, great. Bye. Say hi to your mom.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.